Chris Watkin here with Kristian Stott, who's the ex-CEO of Andrew Grant, a 15-branch estate agency network from the West Midlands. Kristian, you in 2019 took a 15-branch estate agency forward for high street agency into a 5-hub operation. Tell me why you did that. Talk to me.
There's a number of reasons, Chris. The truth is that needs must when the devil drives. The business, when I took it over in 2017, I'd been connected with it for 15 years prior.
What was your back? What did you do before then?
Technology.
Okay. So you're not an estate agent?
No. I started at Andrew Grant in around 2002, 2003. While I went to be a mature student, and I started as a weekend receptionist. And climbed what appears to have been the greasiest of poles, primarily focused on technology and customer experience. That was my thing, to eventually lead the business in 2017, the end of 2017. That was aligned to the retirement of the outbound managing partner who'd been in post for over 20 years. So the business was cast by that. It was what it was. I mapped the business back to 2009, which was the only data I could guarantee was meaningful enough. And it did what a lot of agency businesses did from 2009. It went up, up, up. I mean, it was just stunning. 2014, things changed dramatically, and the business didn't. The business kept pushing its model, newspaper advertising, highly administrative paper function, slow. I think, like some businesses, not all, it had cheapened its staff base.
What had changed between 09 and 14, and then what changed in 14 so it didn't grow?
I think a number of things changed around that time, but essentially, and so for those that don't know, Andrew Grant was in sort of Worcestershire, Shropshire, and West Midlands, Herefordshire as well. The stock got drier. The competitive influence in the space got more ferocious. There were more players. We saw the arrival of the onlines who took a lot of the bread and butter stock quite quickly.
Because interestingly, the Property Academy have been judging fees since 2004, 2006, and the fees have been slowly going down. Do you think because fees in the industry have been going down that there was almost less cream around?
So at Andrew Grant, the trading volume went down. The fees stayed exactly the same as they always had, and the fixed costs went up at a rate which was incredible, absolutely incredible. If you looked what was going out to the portals on a monthly basis versus the transactional volume the business could handle, now, and we can't blame the portals or anybody else for that. The truth is, competitors, the stock in the market, it was quite dry. There was a lot of reasons why the business didn't transact at the pace it had been up until that point, and it was still, a great business in that sense, but it needed to change direction very quickly because the forecasts showed only one thing. You couldn't necessarily put a date on it, but it was obvious what was going to happen.
It was almost death by 1,000 cuts if you weren't careful.
Yeah. If you're around long enough to have all 1,000.
Okay, so what were you doing in the business between 15, 16, 17 before you took over?
Technology.
Okay.
And really purely that in that period of time. Prior to that, I'd done a whole bunch of other things. Okay. But in that period of time, predominantly technology, getting that sorted.
In hindsight, what do you think they should have done in 14 that they should have done differently? I know in 19 you took the offices down from 15 to 5 hubs, but let's go back to 14. What would you done differently?
Make the business more agile. I think that from 2009 to 2014, they made money so quickly. The industry actually made money so quickly they couldn't count it. And I think because of that, to accommodate the scale and the growth, the staffing base got cheapened. It was get a person in that chair now, don't care who it is.
Fill the gap.
Yes, and I think that left very heavy, non-agile businesses that would have struggled to cope if they didn't change. Many of them did, many of them didn't, and there's real evidence of that if you look across the industry now. And I think at that time, there was a very simple choice to make, which was change quickly. They didn't adopt social media marketing until far too late. I don't think. That's an opinion, of course. But newspaper advertising was the focus, boards and shop windows.
Old school 1990s, 2000s stuff.
100%. And marketing per se, I worked with a marketing manager who came to join us, who completely transformed the business because her attitude towards marketing was out of industry. So she didn't bring any agency mindset with her. No newspapers, none of that. She was absolutely brilliant. And she
What year did she join?
Around early 18.
Okay. Exceptional lady, if you don't mind me saying.
100%. And it was great.
So
to
you
just
brought her
watch.
in. So why did they give you the mantle in 17? Is it because basically you said, I can save this firm for you?
I'm not the easiest person to work with, Chris. I'm very deliberate. And I think it was a case of this has to happen. And I was dogmatic in my approach to achieving that. And what sort of brought tears to my eyes was the fact that I just couldn't do it fast enough. Every day was a battle. And I felt that because I knew I was battling, it meant the business was watching that battle. Okay. And I don't think a business ever needs to see that.
So they gave you the reins in 17. What made you then in those next 2 years decide to go down to a 5-hub operation?
There are two elements there. One of them is cash. Is genuinely that the business, as it was, didn't look good enough in the forecasts for the next couple of years, so we knew we needed to change it. And when we actually talked about the fact that we knew we needed to change it, it started to create really involved discussion around what's the future of a estate agency. Now, I don't want to make a point about other people's businesses because I certainly in the competitive space I was in, there were branch-based businesses that I genuinely thought were beautiful. And they were growing, I'm going to say it on telly, put it out there if you want, but Matt Nichols' business, growing business, looked great, focused on branches. So I've got no thing with branches, but I felt that the business I was running didn't need them anymore because they didn't directly drive revenue. They gave people a warm place to sit, but they didn't drive revenue.
So did it save you any money? I mean, you must have had leases, or were they all just some of them coming to an end? And
It saved a lot of money. What's true about the change that we went through is we weren't predominantly focused on just saving money. We were focused on redistributing that money effectively. And so a lot of the choices we made were around, so we committed more to the portals, not less, which was an interesting choice at that time, given the utterances that were coming out of the industry. But my own personal view was that the clients follow the stock. The clients we don't know follow the stock and content, but they follow the stock, and the stock's in the portals. And until that changes...
Okay, so you saved money and put a lot of it into the portals. What else did you do?
Social media marketing, digital marketing. And then the other thing, which I think I'm very, very proud of, as a business at that time, we had the best property video content, I think, in our space and potentially in the industry. Only for a short window of time.
Yeah, he was good. I'll give you that.
And I think that for me, I felt that that was not necessarily what consumers were looking for, but what they couldn't help but enjoy.
But you're not there anymore.
I'm not.
Tell me in a minute why you're not there.
We restructured in September 2019, and no restructure comes without pain. But we went through that process, came out the other side, and we didn't miss any of the numbers we'd given ourselves going through winter, which is difficult in agency, as everybody knows anyway. As we came out of the winter, the industry and the economy was hit by COVID, but our business was genuinely hit by a bus because we were recovering from a heavy restructure. And so when we got to that point in time, we recut all our figures and said, okay, we need to now remodel for the next 24 months and try to understand what COVID would do. I'm obviously connected with a lot of the large independents, and we all talked about what that might look like. So we went for about 80% down months 0 to 3, 60% 3 to 6, 50% up to 9. And when we sort of talked then with the business ownership about that, they called time.
Pulled the dot in. But now it's resurrected itself, and some of the old business partners have taken it on.
Yeah, they've moved forwards, and very best to them. It's a difficult time to do it. I think their model is light and agile, and I very much hope that they're still performing and happy in time to come.
Good luck to them. Thank you very much, and thank you.
Thank you, Chris.